Hey everyone, welcome to Alchemy with Zero Phase. My name is Eric, and I'm thrilled to have you here. Thank you for joining me as we explore the fascinating world of AI art and creative tools. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more tutorials, tips, and fun experiments. Also, if you're looking to elevate your own creative process, check out ZeroGen, our powerful prompt and image generation platform. You can start using the free version today or take advantage of our 3-day free trial for even more features. Check out the link in the description or on the main channel page. Now, let's dive into today's video. Hey everyone, welcome to the video, and this video will deviate from the normal theme of my channel just a little bit. Still going to be working with AI and even AI art, but something that I wanted to show off and show people how to do is something I've always wanted to do. I've tried it before, doing writing with AI, like whether it's GPT or one of the other ones. And writing long novel stories is very difficult. I think there's ways to do it. There's other people that have stuff on that. And I just wanted something short. You know me, I'm impulsive. I want a good read. I love short stories. And so last week I took to task to try and do that, to try and create a really good sci-fi story. Just a short one, between 1,000 and 2,000 words long, that was immersive, that drew you into the story, that kept you reading. And now, like I said, I've tried this before. And when you just ask the AI, make me a short story, sci-fi short story, you maybe give it a few basics, it comes up with a story, but it's typically very shallow. Characters are not fleshed out. It uses repetitious words. The vocabulary tends to be fairly simplistic, and it's just not very good. And I got frustrated with that because I didn't understand the technique I'm going to show you on how to use multiple AIs, or even just one AI if you want, to build that and to recreate it and to turn it into something much better. And I've actually created 3 different short stories that I'm going to encourage you to go read, because I did them very quickly. I'm hoping this video will be able to help you understand how to create that if this is something that you like. So, in fact, let me just show you real quick where you can go to view these videos. Sorry, not videos, these short stories if you want to read them. Okay, so if you go to my shop, you go to shop.zerophase.com/blog, or just click the blog link up here. I have a blog where I put up a bunch of different things, generating pictures with AI and then doing news articles, that kind of thing. But I decided this is where I'm going to put my stories. I'm going to post a new story today. I've got 3 total. This is one of them. But I just barely put this one up. It's only got a couple of views on it right now. But it's an ebook short story that I created called Time's Prison. And when I first started writing this, it was very shallow. It wasn't congruent, or it didn't flow very well. And I spent probably 30 minutes total going back and forth and utilizing the AIs to improve it. And I'm going to show you how to do that here shortly. But yeah, I'm going to get one of my other stories up today. I'll do the next one tomorrow, and then if this one that we do today turns out to be really good, I'll, whether I refine it or not, I'll put it up as well. So let's get started here, and typically I like to start off writing the bulk of the story using a really fast AI, whether it's Cerebras or Groq is another really fast one. But what I've done is I've created a seed prompt here that instructs the AI that they are a very skilled writer, and you can read the details in this. And I may even make this seed prompt. No, I will. I'll make the seed prompt available on my Google Share if you're interested in utilizing that. I generate this seed prompt. I have what I call my virtual persona prompt generator. It's just another GPT prompt that I've created that I just say, hey, I want a prompt for this specialty, and it generates a prompt like this. that I can copy and paste into another GPT session real easy and get it to do what I want to really quickly. So what we're going to do is come down. I pasted that same seed prompt into these other two, and we're going to use Cerebras. And the reason why is because it's a lot faster than even Groq. And I mean, we're talking like you can see here, this was 1,800 tokens a second. GPT is typically about 100, on a good day, maybe 150 if you're using GPT-4o Mini. And it has access right now to the Llama 3.18B and 70B models, which is awesome. These are great models, and they work great for what we're doing. If you use Groq, that's totally fine. Groq has access to, I believe, let's go to the full chat here. They have access to a bunch of different models, but they also have access to the Llama 3.18B. They used to have access to, yeah, there it is, 3.170B versatile, and that's the one I would use if I would recommend using if you're using Groq. That's groq.com. But we're going to use Cerebras. I like the interface a little bit better. I don't like how they change this so that the new stuff appears at the top and pushes everything down. It's just, I don't know, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask this AI to write us a short story. I'm going to do a sci-fi again. I love sci-fi. Huge fan of it. Read a lot of different novels. I love the Foundation series. I love oh god, what has it been so long? I love all the new Dune series, Dune novels that Frank Herbert's son I can't remember his name. He wrote all these different extended books about the Dune history, around the Mentats and stuff like that. I love those. Anyway, we're going to do a short story, so we're going to ask the AI to do that. Let's see if we can do this. Don't want to take up too much of your time, but let's see what we got here. Let's put the cursor down here. I would like your help in writing a short sci-fi story that is between 1,000 and 2,000 words long, period. I would like the story to be about, let's actually rephrase this here. I would like the story to pick up with a young man lost in the desert, comma. I would like this to be I want this to be a very cerebral short story, period. This man has been lost in the desert. He doesn't know where he comes from. And as he travels, he needs to come across something that is completely unexpected, comma. It could be ancient ruins, comma, an alien artifact, comma. There's nothing here to insinuate that he's on Earth, comma. When he comes across this discovery, comma, he starts to explore it and finds many fantastic, phenomenal things regarding who had built it and potentially something that could help him remember who he is. Period. The story follows him exploring deeper into this relic, exploring a maze of fantastic rooms, period. Each room contains a completely different set of technology based on entirely different scientific principles, period. Almost like it's a museum of different eras and different worlds and their technology, period. He comes across a room that holds technology that allows him to awaken his lost memories, period. There needs to be a twist at the ending, comma, and this particular twist, I want it to be dark and terrifying, period. I would like the story to have an overall Lovecraftian feel to it, comma, exploring the unknown universe and the absolute terror and horrors of the universe that we as individuals are unprepared for, period. Maybe the twist is how he got there and who's watching over him, period. I would like you to be creative, comma, invoking emotion and keeping with the flow of the story, period. Okay, and that's good. We're going to start off with that. I'm sorry if it took a while. I kind of wanted you to hear my thought process on that because it's still my idea. I want people to understand this when you're creating and writing with AI. The AI doesn't do it all for you. Yes, it helps shoulder the burden of the technicalities of it, but you still got to come up with most of the ideas. It will help you flesh out those ideas, and that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to submit this and let it go. You're going to see how fast this is too. We're using the 70B model. Let's see. Oh, so it wants some questions. So this is part of the persona that I got. What a fascinating concept. Okay, before we begin, I'd like to clarify a few things. Sure, we're on the same page. I have a Lovecraftian feel, which implies sense of cosmic horror. Okay, I like to twist a particular. Okay, to get started, I'll need to ask a few questions. What kind of tone are you envisioning for the story? Do you want it to be slow burning, atmospheric tale that builds tension gradually? Fast action-oriented narrative. I would like it to be slow burning, atmospheric, and builds tension, comma. I even have the idea that he has these moments of blackouts where he sees flashes of absolutely terrifying, horrible creatures. Period. All right, what else does it have here? Should they be based on real? And what kind of technology would you like to feature in various rooms? Should they be based on real-world scientific or entirely fictional concepts? The technology that he explores in, let's say, 3 or 4 of the different rooms before just generalizing it, should be completely fantastical, comma, meaning fictional concepts, comma, almost no correlation with human technology at all, period. All right, let's see. Lastly, how much of the protagonist's backstory would you like to reveal throughout the story? Should we keep his past shrouded in mystery or provide glimpses of life before the visitor? Okay. So we're going to do this. This is what I love about this persona. Being able to use the prompt generator to generate prompts for the personas is great. As for his backstory, I think that's what ties into his flashes where he blacks out and experiences these terrifying moments. And I think what it should do is tie into the concept that our corporeal forms are merely shadows of a higher dimensional being, and what he's seeing are flashes of this grand, how do I put this? grand universal entity. I'm not entirely sure if that's what I want. Let's see. Shadows of a higher dimensional being, and what he's seeing are flashes of this. We're going to say world. And what he's seeing are flashes of this world and how it's almost like waking from a dream when he blacks out. All right, let's go ahead and give it that information and see what it does here. Okay, so here's a possible opening to the story. And then, we're going to read through this this initial part, and then we're just going to dive into having it write the full story, which is what it says down here. The sun beat down on the desert sand, relentless in its ferocity. The young man stumbled forward, his eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of respite. He had no memory of how he got here or where here was. All he knew was that he had to keep moving, had to find shelter and from the crushing heat. As he walked, the world around him began to blur. The sand seemed to drift and writhe like a living thing. A sickly shade of green, the air grew thick with anotherworldly energy. Then man felt a presence closing around him, a presence that seemed to be watching with cold, calculating eyes, and then everything went black. Yeah, I think we can go with that. Yeah, let's go ahead and start with that, comma. And remember, this story needs to be between 1,000 and 2,000 words long. Period. Okay. Oh, I forgot my voice thing. Yeah, I think that works great. And let's just run with that and make sure we write a story that's between 1,000 and 2,000 words long. Period. And there it goes. Okay, yeah, it's kind of asked me to kind of do the story kind of a little bit at a time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to instruct it to do the whole story. I would like you to just write out the entire story, and then we'll refine it from there. Period. There we go. Okay. So, I don't know how many words that actually is. Let's see what it says. Then everything went black. Yeah, so it's kind of doing this repeating, and then everything went black. Now, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We're going to have to read through the story. What I'm going to show you is the technique. Okay, we've got the base story. What we're going to do is copy this. Let's just copy that. Now what we're going to do is take this over to ChatGPT. GPT-4o is much more articulate. We'll just put it that way. I have the following short story that I have started writing. I would like you to grade this story. Give me its strengths, weaknesses, and a list of possible improvements. The one thing I'm noticing, though, is that this story just doesn't feel that long. I mean, it's just right there. I don't feel like this story has enough depth, not enough details, and doesn't feel very long, period. I know it's a short story, should be between 1,000 and 2,000 words long, but I would like you to make this one longer, fleshing it out a little bit more. Let's give that a try. much better. Let's see what we got here. Okay, the story kind of seems to hit a point right here where it should still be going. And you know what? Let's see, horror what he was. Yeah, I see it's repeating, and then some of these AIs do this. So we're going to go to ChatGPT. Improvements, writing. Okay. We're just going to take the original story. I think I still have it copied. Yeah, there we go. We're just going to have this AI grade the original one. You know what? I want it on a scale of 1 to 10. There we go. Yeah, I didn't think it was 5 out of 10. It's not going to be a very good story. It's going to give you kind of what it sees as the strengths, which aren't going to be many. And we're going to ask, now that we've used Groq to kind of create the base story. Now, you can do this in ChatGPT and it would do a better base story. I do it here because it's fast, or here or whatever. But the open source AIs struggle with repetition. Okay. Now here's the fun part. We're going to just take this. Now we can read through this. That's usually what I do because I like to pick and choose what I want it to improve on. But because we know this is not a very good story, we're just going to tell it, I would like you to implement all of those suggestions as well as increase the overall length of the story, more depth. And that's all we're going to do. We're going to hit enter on that, okay on that, and let it write out the story again. We haven't given it a title, which is interesting that the other one didn't give it a title right off the bat, but we can do the title later. Honestly, that's not really going to be part of this video. Titles are easy, and that's going to be something that you do personally as the person writing the story. Yeah, I can already tell it's doing a much better job. Now we are using GPT-4o. It's a little bit slower in generating the text. Okay, so it's finished, and it gives you a kind of a rundown of what it did. And so the story is longer. It feels, some of the words I've picked out are already a lot more in depth and visceral. So what I'm going to do now, same thing. We're going to ask it to grade itself. But what we're going to do is come up here. We're just going to copy and paste the beginning here. Just this right here. I don't want to retype the whole thing. Come down here. We'll paste it in here. See what it rates itself as. Oh, oops. Let's redo that. There we go. Okay, we're now at an 8 out of 10. It's going to do the same thing. It's going to give you the strengths. There should be more detailed in the strengths as well. Then it's going to give you the weaknesses again, and it's going to give you the possible improvements. This is where you might be, see, it's got a lot more strengths in it now. This is where you might start to be a little more picky about the improvements that it wants. And after you've read the story, This is where you're going to start making suggestions about like the flow of the story. Maybe there's a certain scene or a certain area you want to change. And that's where you're going to make the suggestion is in this next part here. Now it's going to give the suggestion. So the weaknesses, lack of character development beyond the revelation. I'm not so worried about that. Minimal interaction or conflict. Vagueness in the alien elements. I'm not too worried about that. Repetition in language. So yeah, so we're still working with an issue of the repetition. I do like the exploring the protagonist's emotional growth. Introduce a direct antagonistic force. Could be interesting. Something that is driving it could be that it is his higher dimensional self is the protagonist. That could be interesting to explore. Tighten descriptions and add specificity. Reduce minor repetitions. Yep, clarity in the ending. Yeah, so I think what I want to do is, let's do this. Okay, so I would like you to implement suggestion number 1, exploring the protagonist's emotional growth, period. Could be from the beginning about vague memories and how that grows more as a story continues, comma. I would also like you to introduce a direct antagonistic force, comma. This could be his higher dimensional self in this bizarre reality, comma, because he's supposed to be a lower dimensional shadow of a higher dimensional creature, period. Go ahead and implement the changes recommended in number 3, and please implement number 4, reducing minor repetitions, period. And let that tear through it. Stuff like this is fun. You're building this world, you're building this story, and coming up with something. I know it's a short story, but short stories are great. The 3 that I've done so far, I've read them multiple times. I love them. It's amazing how this can be done using this grading system and using the feedback, giving it itself to improve upon this. This can be done with everything, honestly. Anything kind of writing you're doing. I've done it with a blog. There's in fact, I believe it was this latest one here. I wanted to do a blog article on the current state of AI diffusion models and exploring the Flux 1 model from Black Forest Lab, sorry. And I did the same thing with this. And the article turned out to be much, much better than I could have ever written myself, and wasn't overwhelming and brought a lot of value to the readers. So definitely something to explore with this is using the system as a feedback loop almost. All right, let's see, where are we at here? This is an interesting line right here. You cannot escape me, a voice not spoken but felt thundered in his mind. You are nothing without me. You are my shadow, my creation. You will serve your purpose. That's that's a pretty cool line, actually. Okay, and we got to continue generating because it's getting long enough that the AI it's reaching beyond its like response context, and that's what I love about GPT-4 or just GPT in general, is its ability to continue from where it left off. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to ask it to grade it. So let's go up here. We're going to grab that same text here, copy that, and grade it. Grade 9 out of 10. Not bad. Let's let that finish up there. Okay, so definitely growing list of strengths. Weaknesses dropped by 1. The higher dimensional self role could be explored further. I don't know if it really needs to. Vague motivation for defiance. Okay, abrupt ending. Well, the ending is impact feels slightly abrupt. I do agree. I mean, just reading a little bit, he gets down here, it just kind of ends. It's not really continuing on. He's still kind of wandering the desert. And I almost wanted, I wanted some sort of a continuation from this environment. Like he finds something in the final room that not only allows him to realize kind of who he is, where he's from, or whatever, his higher dimensional self, but something that allows him to possibly change location somehow. Like he understands the interconnectedness of the different dimensions, and maybe his fight is looking for a way to escape this higher dimensional self and separate himself from that. Or just a realization of how small he is in the cosmic grandeur of the universe, or the higher, all the different dimensions. So we could take that suggestion that they're making here, the motivation. I don't care if we clarify the higher dimensional self's intentions. It would add depth, but I think it would be extending out the story a little too long. So extend the ending for emotional reflection. Again, I think that just ties into like the protagonist's motivation, what he discovers, and what his motivation is in trying to separate from this, or find a way to become his own self, separated from this higher dimensional self. So I'm going to implement number 1. Number 3 kind of combined with number 1, and we could enhance the descriptions of the alien objects a little bit and see if it's able to do that. I would like to implement suggestion number 1 and 3 in a combined manner, period. I agree that the story ends kind of abruptly. We need to explore his motivations. So what I would like to do is implement the possible motivation that when he reaches that final room and realizes who he is, he also realizes that what he's doing is trying to find a way of separating himself from this higher dimensional self, almost as if this was a being of two entities. Sorry, let's try that again. Distinct personalities. And that the one personality realizes the overall evil nature of the higher dimensional self and is trying to find his own path by trying to find either a new technology or process by which he can separate himself and become his own separate entity, period. I would say that in this final room, not only does he find a technology that helps him remember, but he finds technology that hints at a possibility that there is a way of separating a lower dimensional entity from a higher dimensional self, period. As for the more detailed descriptions of the alien technology, I think that's fine, we can be pretty creative in our words and descriptions with this, period. In the final room, we can involve a lot of words and terminology around quantum coherence, exploring alternate realities, and this hint that he finds leads him on a path of exploring those alternate realities and finding a way of transferring himself, separating himself from the higher dimensional self, period. So I know you're listening to this and I'm just speaking out loud. It's almost a little embarrassing. but it's kind of how this works, and you're just giving the AI your ideas. And so let's go ahead and throw that at it and see what it comes up with. Okay, so it finished, and I actually had a chance to kind of read through it. It's not bad. I'm actually pretty happy with it. There are a few things that I am going to change. There's a point where he interacts with some technology. I really like that part. I had mentioned the word quantum coherence, so it kind of took that literally. I'm going to expand on that a little bit using different vernacular. And then I don't like how at the end he does find a way through this artifact to somehow sever himself from the higher being. I think this needs to be a bit more challenging and possible, because it was supposed to just give a hint at the possibility of doing this, but it allows him to shift locations, giving him the opportunity to travel somewhere else in pursuit of this goal. Also giving him a bit of a way of defending himself or exerting his own will versus only following the higher dimensional self's will. But this is a great story so far. Again, these are just, like I said before, these are the slight changes that now make it personally mine. And I would expect you guys to do the same with yours. So we're going to regrade this one more time and have it just show us what it thinks now. .5. It's really not bad. It's actually a pretty good story. Like I said, there's a few things I want to tie up and just add a little more depth to it. Again, the quantum coherence sounds cool, but I think it's a little too more buzzwordy right now. I think it needs to delve a little into something else. I might do a little research into this as to why that quantum coherence allows him to do this or allows him to connect with these other realities. Is really the bigger part of it, and allow him to move between realities. And that's the bigger point, is him acquiring this artifact allows him to move between these realities, looking for the solution that will help him become his own self. So again, this is a great start to a story. I hope you guys learned something from this, that the AI does have a really good ability to expand on this and really improve those stories without one-shotting it. I don't think you can just one-shot request a story. You're just not going to get it. Okay. I may even, go back and bring in one of my other stories and say, hey, look, I want you to look at the writing style and the pace and other aspects of this story, and I want you to look at this story and rewrite it with those characteristics so that it flows the same, it has the same emotional connection. And I'm going to do that too. We're going to this story does a pretty good job of connecting emotionally, which I really do like. But there are a few more things I'm going to improve, and you'll probably see this come up on my blog. We're going to throw up a couple stories, and would love for you guys to give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever on the story on my blog, and let me know what you think. So I hope this was helpful for those who are looking to figure out how to write stories using AI. They are capable of doing it. There's a lot of knowledge there. There's a lot of experience there that's been trained into these models. So definitely go through, explore that. At one point, I was actually going back and forth. I would take this story and have the other AI rate it. So what I would do is come down here. Let's copy this. And then I would come over here to Cerebras, and then I would say, here is the revised version of the story. I would like you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Show me its strengths, weaknesses, and a list of potential improvements. And then just paste it in there. hit enter, let it do its thing. It's a lot quicker. Now this will help. It rates it at 8.5, and that's actually honestly what I would probably rate it at. Not this 9.5, not even a 9. Don't get me wrong, the story's good, but there's certain things that need to be improved about. I don't know if like pacing issues. Yes, there are some pacing issues. Overly convenient plot devices. I agree a little. Lack of sensory detail. That I agree. I love putting sensory descriptions in there. It really helps bring the reader in. And it also sees that there's a somewhat abrupt ending. So we're going to take these suggestions. And in fact, what we're going to do is we're going to take this over here. And instead of having this rating right here, this is what I love about GPT. I can't do this in these other ones where I can go up and edit a previous one. But I can here. We're going to put this in here. Oop, let's try that again. Where'd it go? Copy. And then paste. That's interesting. Okay. Let's try doing a manual copy. There we go. And what we're going to say is I've rated this myself. Here is my review and possible improvements. Please implement and rewrite. And you can go back and forth because these AIs are going to have different perspectives almost on it. They're trained slightly different. I mean, the same style models or whatnot, but it's going to help you by incorporating both those tools. It will be a little slower generating this, but it's going to be better overall. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to close this out. I'm going to post this story once I come up with a title. We're also going to be doing pictures. I like being able to do a title picture like I did with the one back here on my blog. If you come in here and look at the picture, it's gives you an idea of what the story is about. This is a pretty fun one to do. So we'll do the same thing for this one, and so keep an eye on my blog. You'll see that here probably the next couple days, and in the meantime, enjoy the stories that I do have there and the other articles, and we'll talk to you all later.